This video will demonstrate to you the actual interaction between the participants and the instructor using the Nearpod app. I created this video so you could get a feel for what Nearpod does for you when you utilize it to facilitate the instructional unit, integrating technology in the classroom. On the left-hand side, you'll see the iPad for the instructor and what the instructor will see while they're in their Nearpod application. On the right-hand side, you'll see a participant's screen and what they would see on their iPad or their iPhone. The first thing I want to show you is how polls are pushed to participants. So from my instructor screen, I'm going to slide over to the next slide, and the bar graph here at the bottom, the icon with the bar graph here at the bottom, indicates to me that I have a poll coming up. So I'm going to show the poll question, do you have an existing Edmodo account? And I'm going to slide over. And on the participant screen, you can see that the next slide for them will present the question, do you have an existing Edmodo account? The participant will then respond to the question by indicating that they do have an account or that they don't, and they will hit the submit button to send their question to the instructor. On the instructor side, I can see all of my participants and how they have responded. I can also see a percentage of how many respondents have submitted an answer. In this case, I only have one participant in my lesson, so everyone has answered correctly, or rather answered the question. I can also choose to share the results with the class by clicking on the share button, and the participants will be able to see how everyone else responded. When I'm ready to move on, I will simply just slide my screen from the participant's iPad, and the next screens will show for the participant. I'll continue narrating my lesson and going through slides. In this case, I would actually toggle back to my desktop to show the video. Once the video has been shown, I would continue with my presentation. Now the icon here at the bottom in orange with the globe indicates that I have a website that I'll be pushing out to my participants. So when I see that coming up at the bottom, I know that I'm presenting a website to them. So now if you'll notice on the participant's website, on the participant's device, there is the website that I have pushed to participants. The participants have the option of logging in and have full functionality of keyboards and manipulation. They can zoom in, and access the website that I've given them to. Now the beauty of this is that I'm pushing out the website to them, and I can control how much time they spend on this website, and unless they exit the program, they really cannot be playing around the internet. With the use of the Nearpod application, I can walk around the room, I can actively monitor, I can see how many students are struggling with connecting, and how many students are actually on task. On the participant side, they do have the option of pushing this website out to Safari or Chrome. They can actually toggle back within the website or refresh the page. Once we've completed our activity on the website, I can then move on to the next activity. Let's say, for example, that I have already covered this material or that we have a sufficient enough understanding. I can scroll through the bottom of my Nearpod presentation and advance to the slide that I want to continue. For this example, I want to continue on to the poll and show you how participants can interact with polls. When I've reached the slide I want to advance to, I simply click on Share, and the slide has been pushed out to the participants' devices. In this case, I'm asking a question: what is one way you could use the assignment feature to integrate technology in the classroom? Once I'm ready to poll my students, I slide over, and my students will then see their poll question on their device. The participants will then respond. In this case, this is a free free text question that they can respond to. And I'll just enter a generic answer here. The participant will hit done on their keyboard and then hit submit. And as participants submit their responses on the instructor side, I get to see the responses. I can click on each answer individually, and I can scroll through. If I see a response that I really like, I can say, I really like this participant's response. I'm going to share it with the class, and I can tell the class, here's what some of you have said as far as how you can use the Nearpod presentation. And take a look at how it presents to the participants once I share the response with them. So as you can see, I've shared the response with the participants, and they can see what their peers have shared with them. Once I'm ready to move on, I can continue. And now I'm going to show you how assessments are conducted on Nearpod. Again, I do apologize, there is a lag between what is displaying on my recording device and what you're seeing, but on the actual device there is no lag. You can actually see it simultaneously. So now I'm ready to conduct an assessment for my participants. And the blue question mark here lets me know that I have a question or a quiz coming up. So I will explain this to my participants. Let them know I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to answer it using your devices. So I'm ready to push my quiz out to my participants. If you'll notice on the instructor side, you will see that there is a graph that shows me how many have not answered, how many are incorrect, and how many are correct. It'll also give me a list of all the participants that are logged into my presentation currently. So once my participants are ready to take the quiz, they will select the Go button and the question will be displayed on their device. This question has multiple responses available to it, so the participant can scroll through and select the answer that they think is the best choice for the question. They will hit next and it will ask them if they want to submit their final answers, or they have the option of going back and changing their answer. So here, and this question actually has two possible answers. So then once the question is submitted, I will see their score. I will also see a result of how many participants have answered correctly and how many have answered incorrectly. I can then share these results with the class and let them know how they did. And so on their devices, they will see the graph showing them what the results were of the assessment. The participants can then see the responses for the entire class. They also have the option of clicking on my answers and scrolling up to see how they answered the question. It'll also give them a total of what they have scored for that particular question. The assessments can have more than one question. In this example, I just had one question for each assessment. So there can actually be more than one question in each assessment. So as you can see, Nearpod does offer some interesting features that are very interactive for participants and instructors as well. As an instructor, you get to control the content that is displayed to the participants, and you also can control how long they have to work on a particular device. This helps ensure that they're having hands-on interaction with the material that you're presenting, and also ensures that they're staying focused on what you're asking them to work on. In addition, with the assessments that are available on Nearpod, you can have reports created for assessments and how they were how participants did. That will be sent directly to your email. You have the option of sharing presentations, recommending or reviewing presentations, and you also have the option of creating your own presentations from scratch with some features that are available. As you can see, utilizing Nearpod for the delivery of this particular instructional unit is beneficial to both the instructor and the participants. This concludes this video presentation. I hope that you've enjoyed it.